Hello there and welcome to Rainbow Magician Tarot. My name is Mary. Excited to read for you today. This is a very kind of awkward angle that we're doing today, different than what I usually do. Usually you see my face, but where I am right now I could not get any lighting to look good on my face right now, so trying this new setup, we'll see how it goes. But this is going to be a pick a card reading that is focused on the theme of healing sexuality slash sacral chakra blockages. So anything having to do with the sacral chakra, sexuality, intimacy, emotions, creativity, all of that stuff. We're going to talk about in this pick a card. So we will get into it shortly. The reason, I guess I should explain the reason why I chose this topic is, well, honestly, as a total authenticity moment, it's because it's the topic that I need the most advice on right now myself, and don't know if you're aware of this watching this, but it is my belief that any tarot reading you watch, the tarot reader is 100% of the time, in my opinion, also reading for themselves. So that's my philosophy, at least. Whenever I do tarot videos, I'm always reading for myself as well as for you guys. So you know, just putting that out there. I'm not coming at this video from a perspective of like higher than thou, like I have it all figured out, like this. I'm telling myself this stuff as much as I'm going to be telling you. So whatever baggage you got, just bring it to the table. We'll look at it, we'll deal with it, and we'll see what's blocking this energy, what's blocking the sexual energy, what is the next steps for your sexual healing. I am going to focus it a lot on sexuality, but also other things that go along with sacral chakra stuff, like relationships and intimacy and creativity, will be a part of this as well. And I'm sorry if this setup is really awkward. I'm not used to just like talking with my hands on camera instead of my face, so I hope you forgive me. But I'll go ahead and shuffle the cards and pull the piles so that you can pick, and we'll get into the card selection. Okay, so here we have group 1, group 2, and group 3. If you want crystals to pick with, in group 1 we have some fluorite. Group 2 we have sodalite, if it will stay. Okay, well. Sodalite for group 2. Group 3 we have some bloodstone. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so please stay. Okay. So if you need to pause the video here and close your eyes and meditate for a moment, pick with your intuition. Whatever card pulls most at your heart or your gut is the card that you want to pick. And without further ado, we will get into group 1, the fluorite here. Okay, so group 1, what is the next steps for your sexual healing? What is blocking your sacral chakra? Okay. Okay. So first off, we have here the 4 of Torches reversed. Okay. I feel like you guys are really like worn out. Like you just feel really tired, and like your passion has kind of depleted, right? Like you kind of just have a lack of passion. Okay, because maybe you had some kind of passion or desire that was forming a little while ago, and you were kind of like, you know, you felt like you were really manifesting some shit. Things were really starting to look up, and you were kind of like, okay, yeah, now I can relax and just take it in. But it's like, then what happened is, it's like somehow you just got drained. Like there was just something that was draining you, and now you just kind of feel exhausted, and now like all your passion has kind of died out, and this is making it so that you can't really experience those pleasurable feelings associated with healthy sexuality, or just like joy in general, like pleasure in general in your life. You just kind of feel worn out, and like you've just lost your spark, you know? Like it sounds kind of corny, but like really you just like, it's like maybe you had something you're passionate about, but you kind of like I don't know, like it ended. There was just some kind of ending, and then like it could have been a new like relationship that was forming that didn't end up taking off, or it could have just been like passion in general doesn't even have to be about romantic passion. Like passion can just be about like, you know, passion for a cause that you might have in your life. Like maybe you were just working really passionately on some kind of project, but then it ended, or you kind of gave up on it, and now you've kind of lost that spark, is what I'm feeling with this card. And then we have the Three of Swords, also reversed. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, there's like this feeling of like really just wanting to be done. Like I feel like you kind of just want to be done with life. Like you're just really tired. And it's just like you want to like rest and be replenished. And it's like you're tired of like sinking down into this heartbreak. Like I feel like you're someone who kind of gets met a lot with disappointment and heartbreak in relationships or in just life in general. You tend to, it feels like you get your hopes up and then you get let down a lot. And so it's like you're kind of tired of this energy of just like sinking to the bottom, and now you just want to like be done. Like you want to just let this pain just like, you know, like you just want to kind of drift above it and just disconnect altogether. So like you might be wanting to like just disconnect from romance altogether, like just stop dating altogether, stop having sex altogether, whatever it may be. Like you just feel like you are just done. You kind of just want to like, you know, metaphorically die in that sense, and just like, you know, just like have that sense of peace of like, it's done, I'm not going to try anymore. Like there's this kind of sense of futility that I'm feeling here with this. Okay. And then we have the Nine of Swords reversed, which is the basilisk. These cards are really cool. They have different mythological creatures on them. So this one, it's a basilisk, which reminds me of Harry Potter a little bit. Except this does not look like the basilisk from Harry Potter. Anyway, this was in reverse, I think. Yeah, you're like chasing... You're chasing some kind of monster out of you. I don't know if this makes sense, but like, I feel like this monster, this basilisk, kind of represents your sexual desire, okay? And I feel like you've kind of gotten so frustrated with it that you are just kind of like wanting to like shove it down in a cell, or like, I don't know what this is. It looks like it's like a well or something. I don't know. It's going down these stairs, but it's like you just want to like shove you want to shove this sexual desire, just like lock it in a box and be done with it, because you're just so frustrated with it. You're frustrated with the passion always dying out, okay? Or just like, yeah, like you feel like giving up. It's not like working out for you. You feel like you don't want to go through like the pain and the rebirth again, like you just want to be done. And so you're just like, I want this to just like go away. I just want to lock it up. I don't want to look at it anymore. Like I just want to be done with it. Like there's a lot of like scapegoating of your own desire, right? And so you've kind of made it into this like thing to be feared, because it seems like it always gets you into trouble, or it seems like it's this thing that you don't really understand, or you can't really like control how it affects you. And so you're just like, you know, wanting to kind of chase it away, okay? But because this is in reverse, I also feel like you are just like, again, like you're really tired. Like you don't, like at the same time that you are tired of like trying to make it work, I also feel like you're tired of like punishing yourself, you know, like you're tired of being disappointed, but you're also tired of like restraining yourself. So I feel like that's why this is in reverse, because it's like this is what you've been doing. You've been just trying to lock this away and, you know, like, you know, keep it contained. And I feel like that's the reason why you keep losing your passion, is because you're afraid to let it all out. But you're getting so tired of keeping it contained, right? And this is just sexual energy. This is passion. This is creativity. This is desire. All of these things are associated with sexual energy, with the sacral chakra. And all of these things, you have this like fear around it, like it's too much, right? There's like this energy of like you have to like dilute what you want, or like keep it in check, because you're just gonna get disappointed, or it's not right for you to want it, and so you have to like keep it in check. And the more you keep it in check, the more like the more you try to keep it in check, the more kind of uncontrollable it gets. And this is what's tiring you out so much, is because you're not really letting yourself be free. You're not really admitting to what you actually want, okay? If this represents your desire, because you're always like, you know, trying to keep it in the corner, trying to keep it locked up, you don't actually know what it wants. And so the reason you're so tired right now is because you've been busting your ass trying to get somewhere, but you don't even know what you want, okay? And then we have the King of Pentacles, Leprechaun. So this is all about, you know, luck. This is all about letting yourself have what you want. Like, I feel like that's pretty obvious with this card. Like, look, he's just like, you know, he's kind of like being greedy almost. Like, I feel like there's this feeling or association that you have that, like, you know, it's wrong to indulge yourself, right? Like, it's wrong to just like be hedonistic and to just want sex or want anything really, because like I said, desire can be any kind of desire, and all desire is kind of connected to the sacral chakra and is connected to sexuality. So any desire you have, you've been kind of like not letting yourself see. Look at this little monster hiding in the tree here, right? It's like you're scared that if you let yourself have what you want, like, you know, you're gonna be like sitting on some secret monster that's gonna come like betray you. And this is the thing, like there is definitely something to be said for the shadow of like being too indulgent, I guess. I don't even know if that's the right word, but like, you know, like greed is definitely something that is more of a shadowy nature, but it's not genuinely like letting yourself have what you want is different than greed. Greed actually comes from a place of lack, right? And like when we talk about the shadow side of being too self-indulgent, it's not like giving yourself too much of what you want. It's, you know, not paying attention to the consequences, like the long, like there is something to be said for only prioritizing short-term pleasure in place of long-term pleasure. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're someone who only ever does things for short-term pleasure, you're probably not going to have a very happy life because you won't have any commitment to a long-term goal, right? You would be someone who procrastinates a lot, for instance, or you don't have any like discipline to achieve the things that you want to achieve. So I feel like that could be what we consider like the shadow side of like self-indulgence. And I think that's what you're afraid of, okay? You're afraid that if you let yourself have what you want, then like all of your values and all of your long-term goals will just like disappear, okay? But that's actually like only going to be the case if you are not conscious about what you're doing. But the thing is, if you let yourself have what you want, that means also considering what you want in the long term, right? So what do you want? Like, look, like, what do you want now? Like, what do you desire right now in terms of sexuality, in terms of relationships, in terms of material things, in terms of anything? What do you want right now? And then think, what do I want long term? And those two things don't always have to be in conflict, right? And if there is a conflict between them, then you should, you know, look at that and look at why there's a conflict. Why do I want this long-term goal if it's not in alignment with my short-term happiness? Sometimes we think we want something long-term, but we realize the reasons that we want it actually doesn't make sense. So, you know, look for that alignment between what you are doing now and what you want long-term in the future, and then you won't have to worry about this like monster creeping up, like, oh, if I indulge myself too much, something bad's gonna happen. That's not the case. That's only the case if you completely give up, if you completely give up your priorities, but you don't have to do that. You just have to look at them and say, what are my actual priorities? What do I want to prioritize? Do I want to prioritize my short-term happiness, or do I want to prioritize my long-term goals? And this could be goals for like a relationship. Maybe you want a long-term relationship or like a committed relationship, but you also want to kind of like date around a little bit in the short term, and so you're kind of conflicted about that, right? So if that's the case, then like those two things don't have to be in conflict with each other, but you just have to look at like, okay, why do I want both of those things? Why do I want this in the short term? Why do I want this in the long term? And like, what is my priority? How can I find a way to get both needs met? Okay, and then you can have what you want now while also still holding on to your values, holding on to your long-term goals, holding on to your other desires. Like, you don't have to let go of one desire to have another desire. If you have a desire for something in your future, you can have that desire and still let yourself have what you want now, right? It's just a matter of finding alignment between those things, okay? And so you really just need to look at this, because the more that you restrict yourself from having what you want, the more you are going to like just be burnt out, okay? Like there's just a lot of burnt out energy because you don't have this passion, because you're trying to like lock it away and keep it contained, and like this shit needs to be released, okay? You need to find that fire within you. Find that thing that you're passionate about, okay? And this, like I said, all desire and passion kind of relates to sexual energy. So even if it's something completely unrelated to sex, like let's say you just are super passionate about some cause and you really want to get involved with it, and so you start volunteering, and this just like gets you so excited about your future and about the impact that you have on the world. Like that's related to your sexual energy, because that's your passion, okay? And passion is related to sexual energy. And so if anything that you can do to ignite that passion is what you want to follow, and don't be afraid of it, okay? Don't be afraid of your desire. Okay, I'm going to draw one oracle card. This one. Okay, we have plants, growth. Yeah, okay. Growth. Let yourself be nurtured, okay? Let yourself be nurtured. Let yourself nurture your passions. Nurture your passions, right? Nurture the things that you want. Get in touch with your inner child self and the things that your inner child self wants, and then nurture those things so that they can grow into your adult life, okay? Because growth also makes me think of growing up from like child to adulthood. Like what are those seeds that you planted way back when? Those seeds of hope and desire that you planted way back when. How can you get in touch with those and then bring those into your life now? So there's a need to nurture some childhood desires, okay? Need to nurture some childhood desires and let yourself go for those. Let yourself have those, okay? And remember, there's a difference between greed and like self-lovingly letting yourself have what you want, okay? Greed comes from a place of lack and like, I don't know, I guess gluttony is the word I'm thinking of, like over self-indulgence. Yeah, I guess that would be considered gluttony, right? I don't know. But if that's what you're worried about, that only happens, well, if you give up your values, if you give up your priorities, if you give up your future desires for the short-term pleasure. But you don't have to do that. You can have all of these things, right? Look at all these different branches. These represent all the different desires that you can go for, that you can have growing at the same time. You just got to be aware of what all of them are and try to figure out how you can get them all into alignment so that they don't have to be in conflict with each other, okay? Okay, so that's it for group one. I hope that you enjoyed. Again, sorry for this awkward angle. I'm hoping that it wasn't too bad for you. And I hope to see you again very soon. Please check the description for links. If you want to book a personal reading with me, the link to do that will be in the description below. And sorry for all of that rattling. But I will see you again very soon. Goodbye, group one. Okay, hello group two. Let's look at your cards. Okay, so the first card we have is the Hierophant. Okay, a second. Just trying to get organized over here. Okay, so the first card we have is the Hierophant. So, how is this affecting your sacral energy? I feel like you guys have been fantasizing a lot. You might have the having a lot of sexual fantasies lately. The reason why I'm saying that is because I see this ocean up here. An ocean can sometimes symbolize sexuality. Water, there's an association between water and sexuality. And it's kind of coming from the head of this figure, kind of like it's a fantasy, right? And the Hierophant talks about traditions, Yeah, like tradition, history, can also talk about religion in some aspects. So some of you might have some conflict with fantasies that conflict with how you were brought up. Like, I feel like the reason why this is something that you're fantasizing about, because we have these two figures down here who are like grounded on the ground, who are on the ground, right? But I feel like what they're desiring is like up here, right? Like it's in the fantasy realm. It doesn't feel like it is something that can exist in the real physical world because of rules, I guess, of like of tradition of what has been acceptable in society. Like I feel like there's a taboo that needs to be broken out of with this card. I actually feel like the Hierophant, one of the main messages of the Hierophant is to break out of taboo, even though it does represent tradition. I feel like it can represent like a need to re-examine tradition and a need to acknowledge the taboo and kind of break out of that. And so I feel like there is some taboo that needs to be broken out of with this group, because there's some desire that you feel like you can't have in the real world. Like you can only fantasize about it because it doesn't feel like you're allowed to have it, or it goes against what you've been taught, okay? But the Hierophant is also just like a keeper of knowledge, right? Keeper of wisdom. And I feel like this card asks you to re-examine these things, because I feel like this Hierophant is not like this is not the Christian God kind of energy of like being judgmental for you, being judgmental on you for your impure sexual desires, okay? I feel like some of you might have grown up with messages like that. And so you think that that is the kind of judgment that you're facing, or it's subconsciously in your mind, this kind of fear that you shouldn't be thinking about that, or you shouldn't be wanting that. But someone who is truly wise and truly understands knows that like there's no judgment, right? God does not judge. I feel so corny saying this, but like for real, like there's no judgment from a higher perspective of anything that you can want, anything that you might be desiring sexually, okay? So if there's some kind of taboo that you're afraid of, just remind yourself, like, the world is big, you know? Like, the world is huge, and there's so many different types of people. There's so many, like, you are an animal of nature, okay? Like, you're an animal of nature. You have desires. They might be weird. Let's be honest. Sometimes sex is weird. Sometimes we want weird things, okay? Let's just normalize that. Just like the concept in general is weird if you really think about it. You don't have to get into it, but I'm just saying, like, it's just weird. Like, human sexuality is just weird in general. There's nothing, like, not weird about it. So in that way, like, there's also, like, nothing is weird about it because everything's weird about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, like, nothing should be taboo because it's all the same, like, strangeness. You know, like, it's all strange. So you don't have to, like, obsess over the rightness and wrongness of it, okay? This card really asks you to break out of that mindset and to look for how, like, what you desire actually can be right for you and actually can be good for you and actually can be good for the world, right? And how you can bring that into actuality, into reality, instead of just in your fantasies, okay? And then we have the Eight of Swords reversed. yeah, it's like, there's been a lot, there's been a lot you've had to deal with in your subconscious mind. Like, there's been a lot that's been left in the shadows for you. There's been a lot of desire that you've had to, like, leave to fight for itself in a way. It's like you have parts of you that you felt like couldn't align with whatever vision you were told is like the correct way to be. Okay? And because you had those parts that, you know, didn't really align with that, they kind of had to fend for themselves and kind of had to like walk around in the darkness with the blindfold on, and like, you know, you've kind of feel like you've been left in the dark because you didn't have the education to explain to you how to deal with these thoughts and desires and how to go about getting what you want in a safe and healthy way, because you didn't have that education. Okay? You now feel like you're a little bit lost and like you've been left to kind of wander in the dark, right? Okay? But because it's in reverse, I feel like you're kind of tired of this now. Like, you're ready to take the blindfold off and to explore these things, but I still feel like there's a little bit of fear, okay? There's a little bit of fear, like you want to take the blindfold off, you want to kind of just like expose yourself. I don't mean that in like in a sexual context necessarily, but like you want to expose what you want to the light. You want to bring your desires to light. Does that make sense? I don't know, but like you want to explore these things, right? But there's still a little bit of fear, okay? Yeah. There's a little bit of fear. There's a little bit of like, I don't know, fear of pain, like physical pain, possibly, with sex. Like, I feel like you just need, like, you need someone who's going to be sensitive with you, okay? I'm sorry, this image is giving me some innuendos here. But like, you need someone who you need someone who's not gonna, like, you know, just like stab you. Do you know what I mean? like you, if there's a desire to explore things that might be a little bit taboo, okay, to explore your sexuality in some unique ways, maybe there's some desire to experiment with different power dynamics in sex, let's say, to experiment with like being submissive or something like that. You want to make sure that you can trust who you're with. Like, you want to make sure that you can trust who you're with, and that any pain that might occur isn't overwhelming, okay? And that it's like, you know, if you, you know, that the physical discomfort of it is something that you agree to. Like you want to be okay with the level of comfort versus discomfort, okay? Does that make sense? Like, you need someone who knows what you want and who can help you explore that, but in a way where it still feels safe, okay? Because I think you're afraid that if you go for what you really want, if you admit to what you really want and you go for what you really want, then there's going to be some sort of pain associated with it, or you won't be safe anymore. Like, you don't feel like it's safe to want what you want. You don't feel like it's safe to explore these things, okay? These desires, these fantasies that you have. It doesn't feel like it's safe because you feel like there's a way where it could be, turned against you. Like, literally, you might, like, if it is kind of a desire to, be a little bit experimental with sex, then there might be some fear of, like, physical safety, which is very valid. So just make sure that you are, like, with someone that you can trust, okay? Or this could be a fear of, like you hurting yourself in a way, or you hurting someone else. Like, you just feel like if you go for what you want, there will be some kind of negative consequence, that it'll make you bad in some way. You'll end up hurting yourself or hurting someone else. And, that's not that's not something that is going to happen necessarily. It would only happen if you, like, let yourself go at it blind, But it's like, you don't need this blindfold anymore. You can choose your actions consciously. You can consciously communicate to people, to your partner, to whoever you're with, what you want, okay, what it looks like. And that way you can do it, you can experiment with it in a safe way, okay, where you don't have to be putting yourself or anyone else in danger, because you have clearly communicated what you want. You're not just fumbling blindly trying to figure it out, okay? So we really need some clear communication here. Okay. And then we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. And the character on here is Hanuman. I'm not sure how you say that. Yeah, I feel like you really just want to be allowed to go for what you want, right? Again, we have this water imagery here. Like, you want to bring these desires into the real world, okay? But I feel like it's gotten twisted upside down. Like, I feel like your wires have been crossed a little bit with your desires. Like, the reason why your desire seems so scary and strange, and, like, why you're so afraid of it, is because you've been denying it for so long that it's kind of like you don't even know what you want anymore, sort of, or it's just like it's been, like, it's lost its direction, okay? Like, you've lost the direction of what you actually want. Like, you think you know what you want, but because you're blindfolded still, right? You don't actually really understand what you want, okay? Like, you have these fantasies, and maybe they kind of, like, maybe you're kind of unsure of what they mean. Or maybe you think that there's something messed up about it. But you only feel that way because you're not really fully understanding it. You're not really fully letting yourself go into it. Because if you did let yourself fully go into it and fully explore it with an open mind, then you would actually, understand what you actually are wanting, okay? And you wouldn't be feeling confused. You would have your direction, okay? So you need to have a sense of direction, okay? And he's going towards the sun here. So you need to aim towards the sun, okay? The sun represents joy, represents innocence, okay? So aim for that innocence, aim for that innocent exploration of your desires, okay? If you can have that as your focal point, like, how can I let myself innocently explore these desires, then you don't have anything to worry about, okay? 1 second, I need some water. Okay, then we have the Hermit, Yeti reversed. Yeah, you need to come out of your shell a little bit. Okay, you've done I feel like you have done a lot of kind of like, you know, exploring on your own in terms of like you spent a lot of time reflecting on yourself. You spent a lot of time in your own head, okay? In your own head, in your own fantasies. Like, you spent a long time on your own, isolating yourself, and now you really just need to come out of your shell, come out of hiding, okay? And, like, start to take some steps in the actual, like, real world towards what you want. I feel like you're someone who, when it comes to sexuality and sexual desire, you haven't really done much exploration, like, physically, like, with another person. You've only just, like, thought about it, okay? For this group specifically, I feel like you are someone who just, like, thinks about what you want, but you don't actually, like, go for it. Like, you just kind of reflect on it, but you don't actually allow yourself to, you know, take those steps, because I feel like you are afraid. Like, you're afraid of the physical aspect of it. You're definitely afraid of the physical aspect of sex, if that's what we're talking about. Or just the physical aspect of going for your desires. You're afraid of that physical aspect. I feel like you're afraid of your own physical aspect. Like, you're afraid of your own physical form. You're afraid of your own animal nature. I mean, the Yeti, hello, is like a, you know, an animalistic creature. So you're afraid of your own primal nature, I feel like. You know, you kind of feel like you should be, like, transcendent and above everything, right? Like, you shouldn't even have sexual desires. Like, you should just be above everything. But, like, no. Like, fuck that shit, okay? You are an animal. You are an animal of Earth. You have a body. And you should be allowed to, you know, to quote Mary Oliver, let the soft animal of your body want what it wants. Okay, bitch? So let the soft animal, the wild feral animal of your body, want what it wants. And you don't have to be afraid of it, because as long as you keep your sights set on, you know, on what you want, keep your sights set on this sense of innocence and joy and goodness, then there won't be any conflict between that and your desire, okay? So I hope this helped you, group 2. Okay, just kidding, group 2. I forgot that I was gonna draw a, oracle card. My brain is fried. Okay, so I'll draw an oracle card for group 2. Sorry, I thought we were done, but we're not. Okay. Okay, richness, marine life. Yeah, look at this. Look at that ocean. Where was it? Remember I was talking about the ocean, like you're scared of the ocean, okay? You're scared of your own sexuality. You're scared of the ocean. There's so much to discover there. There is so much to discover. There's so much you will learn about yourself the more that you explore these desires, okay? And it is full and rich of life, okay? The more that you explore your sexual desires, the more rich and fulfilling your life will become, and the more you will understand all of these things about yourself and all these beautiful things, okay? And all these creatures that once seemed scary to you, that were like lurking there in the dark, will suddenly become beautiful creatures, right? Once you understand them, once you can see them clearly. So there's a lot to discover, a lot to explore in your sexuality that will bring you a lot of just overall richness to your life. Like, you will just feel this sense of richness, you will feel this sense of abundance in your life the more that you allow yourself to explore these things. Okay? So that is the last message for group 2. Thank you for watching. If you liked this reading, please like and subscribe. Check the description box below for other links of mine. If you're interested in a personal reading, the link for that will be in the description as well. So I hope to see you again very soon, and have a good day. Bye, group 2. Okay, group 3. Let's look at your cards. What is blocking your sacral chakra energy. What is your next, sorry for all that rattling, steps for your sexual healing? Ooh, okay. Okay. So the first card we have is the King of Torches. Ooh. Sorry, I'm just looking at these cards. There's a lot of intense energy of this card in these cards. King of Torches. This is like you are on fire. Like you are burning with desire. You are burning. Sorry. There's so much intense energy in this card. Wow. Okay, so you guys, my group 3, are burning with desire. You are yearning. You are burning, you are yearning, you are like on fire, like you are passionate. Like you are ready to like, to burn some shit down and to fuck some shit up, okay? That's what I feel with this group. It's like you feel like you have been waiting for far too long and now like you're just ready to blaze on ahead, okay? So you have a lot of passion that has been recently ignited, okay? And this passion could be, you know, passion for a specific person that you're thinking about, that you are just like ready to like, to just like go at that. I don't know, I said that really weird, but like you're just ready to like get it, you know? You're ready to just go for it. Or this could just be passion for anything. Like I was saying, I think in group 1, all desire is kind of connected to sexual desire. It's all connected to the sacral chakra. So this could just be a passion that's burning inside of you for some kind of purpose that you found in your life. I feel like this card could also talk about this like renewed sense of purpose or passion. I feel like this group 3, I feel like you guys are like the like future of group 1, if that makes sense. Like, because group 1 was like being burnt out and like losing passion, and like now you guys are like, whoo, like you have the passion. So if anyone chose group 1 and also chose group 3, you know, you might interpret this as like group 1 is where you are and this is where you need to be, or group 1 is where you were and this is where you're going, but this is like the progression of group 1, okay? And that's like being on fire, okay? Being on fire, letting your passion kind of guide you, and like just going for it. Like, whew, really intense energy there. Okay, we have the Princess of Swords. Okay. So Princess of Swords. Ooh. I feel like you're ready to learn some things too. Like you, yeah, like Princess of Swords, also Page of Swords. Swords speak of intellect, and Page is kind of like the learner, the novice of the court cards. So I feel like you're aware of the fact that you are kind of a beginner in whatever you're setting out to do, okay? Like this is kind of new for you. There's a sense of newness to this passion that's igniting you. A sense of newness to this desire that you have. And so you're kind of just ready to like take it on, and you're ready to learn from it, okay? But there might be some like defensiveness that you have, like a kind of mental block that you have also, because you know, swords can talk about your mentality and aggressiveness. So there might be some kind of like, you know, because this is also kind of like facing this person. So this could be like some kind of mental block that you have where you're like, yeah, I'm on fire and I'm ready to go, but you're also like, but wait, like I don't know everything, or like, but wait, what if this, but wait, what if I'm being stupid, but wait. It's like you're kind of doubting yourself a little bit, okay? Because you feel like you don't know everything, okay? Like you still have a lot to learn, and so you're a little bit afraid, like, whoa, hold on, like let me keep you a little bit in check, like, you know, like, let's hold up a second, I don't know everything, you know, so you're like, you're a little bit afraid to just like, you know, burn on ahead because you're just like, hold the fuck up, like, I still got more to figure out here, okay? So that is kind of like blocking you a little bit. We have 5 of Cups reversed, Mermaid, ooh. Okay, yeah, this is making me think of like the sirens from Greek mythology, because we have the ships and this mermaid. So, and like the sirens kind of represent like, you know, like they lure sailors to their death. So I feel like, you know, you're a little bit afraid, like you're like ready to fucking go, okay? Like you're ready to just go for what you want, but you're a little bit afraid that you're gonna like not look before you jump and then you're gonna be lured to your death. Like you're a little bit afraid you won't be able to stand this storm that's coming, okay? Like it kind of feels like you're about to jump into something really intense, like some relationship that's really intense, or some adventure you're embarking on in your life that's just going to be really intense, and you feel like you're not prepared for it, and you feel like you might be led astray, right? You might be tempted by this sensual mermaid over here. You might be tempted to jump ship. Like there's a fear of getting in over your head, okay? Like there's a really big fear of getting in over your head because you are so ready to fucking go here. Like you are like so fired up. And this kind of voice, it's almost like, this kind of looks like an angel too, like the good angel on your shoulder is like, okay, hold on a second, like let's temper you down a little bit, because we're about to be in way over our head. Like, we're about to be, like, thrown to the fucking waves and lured to our deaths by this beautiful temptress. Like, some of you might be getting into some kind of relationship with someone where they're, like, really fucking attractive. And it feels like they're, like, tempting you to, like, go off the deep end. And you feel like you're gonna, like, you know, fuck up your whole life for them because they're just that alluring. Like, someone really has you, like, oof, like just under their spell, it feels like, and you're a little bit afraid of what's gonna happen, okay? And if this isn't a specific person, this could also just be, like I said, something you're embarking on, like some new project or adventure you're embarking on, because, you know, like just because this video has the intention of sexuality, like I said, it can also apply to other areas of your life. So this could just be like some new adventure in your life that you're ready to embark on, but it's something that you feel way underprepared for, and you're like, I'm about to be in way over my head, and I'm afraid I might be led astray. I don't know if I can trust myself. There's a lot of tempting things out there that might take me off of my path, okay? Because I feel like you have made some kind of commitment to yourself to stay on this ship and, like, get somewhere, but, like, the path is not straight at all. And you're like, I don't know where the fuck I might end up, but this thing over here is looking pretty good, so I might go there, but then what if that leads me astray? You know? So there's a lot of fear and confusion here. And then we have Knight of Swords, Barbarian. Okay. I feel like this card is kind of like, I don't know, politically incorrect. Like, I don't know. Anyway, just, you know, for the sake of the reading, I'm just gonna ignore that. But I feel like there's just so much wild energy in this group. Like, I'm sorry, I keep laughing because it's just like, woof. Like, this wild energy, you're just like you're just so, like, unhinged, I feel like. There's like this unhinged energy here where it's like I feel like you can't stop yourself even if you tried. Like this little good angel on your shoulder that's like, wait, hold on now, like it is not strong enough to stop this fire that's burning. And I feel like you know that. Like you know that you're not going to be able to escape this temptation, okay? You're not going to be able to hold yourself back. And so there's this like really wild energy of like, I'm just going to fucking like, you know, go for it. And I feel like there's so much, like, look at this fiery energy, like this card and this card, and then this crazy water energy. Like, I'm just saying, you guys you're in for something. I mean, it's really just like up to you. Do you want to go on this epic adventure and just like wild the fuck out and just like experience something and just like, you know, say fuck it? Then, you know, maybe that's your path. You know, I feel like there is a bit of like I want to say like a warning to this group, or maybe just like a heads up that's just like, you know, just be aware that if you do decide to just, you know, unleash this beast within you, that there, you know, it might not all be like butterflies and roses. Like, you might have to deal with these consequences that you're fearing, but that doesn't mean necessarily that you shouldn't do it. So I'm gonna draw an oracle card because I want to see what the advice is here with this group, because I feel like this energy is so intense that, like, I want to tell you to just go for it, but I also don't know if there's like anything you should be aware of here. So let's see. Okay, oceans, bravery. Okay, I feel like that answers it. Like, there's gonna have to take a leap of bravery. You're gonna have to take a leap of bravery. Okay? Jesus Christ, this energy is so fucking intense, dude. Look at this, oceans, and this mermaid card, Jesus, okay. It's gonna take a lot of bravery for you to actually go for what you want, okay? And she kind of looks like she's like balancing precariously the world here. So I feel like there's a bravery that's required in order to go for what you want and not hold yourself back, and there's also a bravery that's required to do so in a conscious way. That's not just like a result of cause and effect, okay? Like, what I mean by that is, the story I'm getting from these cards, you have something you really fucking want, like really bad. Like, you are really fired up, you really want to go for it. You have this little doubt in your head that's like, maybe we should hold back. And so, you know, you go on this journey, you embark on this journey, you say you're going to stay true to the ship, and then the storm comes, and then you're lured in by this seductress siren, and you're not really going to be able to keep yourself from being pulled in by her, and then you're just going to kind of go batshit and like unleash the beast that's been inside of you, and go for it. But see how this is kind of like deterministic in a way. It's very cause and effect. It's, I want something, I'm gonna fucking go for it, and I'm gonna try to stop myself a little bit, but it's like because this energy is like not really aligning with this, okay? Because this energy is like you know, it's like there's this like kind of bulldozing energy that's happening with this over this. It's like, yeah, fuck you, like you're not really listening to your own doubts in a way. Like they're there, but like you're not really like communicating honestly with yourself. I feel like you might be telling yourself like, oh, like I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm not. Like we're just, you know, it's not for me. We're gonna stick to the path. But like, you know that you're lying to yourself. So I feel like it's a matter of being honest with yourself, and it's like, okay, I want this and there's no changing that. So instead of bulldozing through this part of yourself that's like, wait a second, what about the consequences? Okay. Instead of just like busting through that, okay, there's going to be a sort of bravery that's like, okay, if I know that there's no way for me to get rid of this desire that's so fucking strong, there's no way for me to get rid of this desire that's within me, okay? This could be like I said, like some desire for some specific person, or just something that you want in general that you've been holding back for too long. If you say, I know there's no way for me to get rid of this, okay, instead of trying to stop it, how can you support it in a way where your concerns will still be addressed, okay? Because you're afraid of being in over your head, right? You're afraid of being in over your head, of like just drowning, of losing your direction, losing your way, being so controlled by your instincts that you've lost your sense of clarity about the situation, okay? Like you're afraid of that, and maybe for a good reason. And so this kind of balance that I'm seeing here with this card, or she's like kind of balancing on the world, it's not balance in the way of like hold yourself back, okay? But it's the bravery to say, okay, I'm going to fully step foot in this ocean. Like I'm going to fully step foot in this ocean, you know, with all of these things within me. Like it's not like bulldozing a part of yourself that has like whatever doubts you have about this, whatever fears you have about like being in over your head, like you should consider those, okay? So the bravery is going to be, how do I go for what I want with my fears, with my insecurities? How do I go for what I want and still keep, you know, still listen to my guiding light, still listen to what I actually, you know, want to accomplish, okay? Like I said, I feel like this is kind of like the evolved version of group one. Group one was all about kind of like short-term pleasure versus long-term pleasure. If I let myself indulge in what I want now, then I'll fuck myself over in the future. So this group is really trying to get you to break out of that, okay? By saying, okay, there's no stopping this thing that I want. How do I get on board with it and make sure that it's in alignment with all the other things that I want, okay? You're afraid of bulldozing yourself. Like you're afraid of bulldozing the part of you, like this part of you, which I feel like kind of represents like your super ego, like your conscience. That's like, wait a second, you know, we made some kind of vow that we weren't gonna do this. Like it's just trying to keep you protected, but there's no hope in stopping yourself from wanting this thing. So instead of trying to stop yourself from wanting it, how do you get on board with wanting it in a way that's still in alignment with your values in a way that's still in alignment with who you feel yourself to be as a person, okay? Because if you're afraid of betraying your own values, if you made a commitment to yourself that's like, I won't get into any kind of toxic relationship again, I won't, you know, I don't want to catch feelings, I don't want to like have a deep relationship with someone right now, like I don't, you know, if whatever it is, it could be relationship related, it could be anything. Maybe you, you know, you don't want to sleep around casually because you just decided it's not in alignment with who you, with what you want for yourself right now. Maybe you want a more committed relationship, but there's someone who's just like really, you know, you can't deny your desire for them, okay? And this is just a scenario that I'm giving, but like there could be many different ways you can interpret this, okay? Or if you were in group 2 and you just have these like desires that are kind of taboo, okay? If you have some sexual desires that are kind of taboo and go against the grain of society, and maybe you're afraid of going off the deep end and like, you know, losing your connection to the world or losing your goodness as a person. I don't know, like you have to keep in mind your own values, okay? You have to keep in mind your values and like your priorities and the things that you want. And so, you know, when there's no stopping this energy, okay? There's no stopping this passion that has ignited within you. It's gonna fucking burn, and you should let it burn. But the only thing to keep in mind is that if you have these doubts, if you have this super ego, this conscience that's like, wait a second, you know, hold on, we don't know everything, we could be in over our head, you know, blah, 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 all of these fears and insecurities, how do you get that to be in alignment, okay, with what you want? So this is where the bravery takes place. The bravery is getting on board with your desire so that your desire doesn't have to bulldoze you, okay? The bravery is getting on board with your desire and stepping into the unknown with your insecurity, with your conscience, with your ego, with all of that, okay? You're stepping into the unknown bravely with all of yourself, okay? With your guiding light. You're not leaving it behind. You're keeping it with you, and you're stepping bravely into the unknown with all of that, okay? And so that will make sure that when you're going on this journey, this adventure, you know, you can still have what you want, but it won't feel as uncontrollable. It won't feel as out of control. I'm out of my depth. I'm just like drowning, okay? Because you brought yourself along with you, okay? Because you got on board with yourself. The issue is, like, this part of yourself has no hope of stopping this desire. So how do you get on board with it and make sure that it's in alignment with your values, alignment with what you want for yourself, so that you can bravely go for it, okay? So super intense energy with this group. But I hope that resonated with you. Thank you for watching group 3. If you want more from me, my information will be in the description below. If you want to book a private reading, you can check that out. And please like and subscribe if you liked this video, and I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.